My name is David Oppenheim. I'm running for the position of Mountain West Regional Director. Before we get started about me, I'd first like to thank the staff at Sertoma for allowing me the opportunity to present on the candidates forum. I'm very much looking forward to working on the national board to address the challenges that are facing Sertoma. To give you a brief background of myself, I've been in Sertoma for over 35 years. I joined in 1987. I'm a life member. I'm a charter member of both the Sertoma Club of DTC as well as the Sertoma Promotion Club, and have been in every position of the club that was available to me. I spoke about facing the Sertoma challenges. I'm talking about challenges of growing clubs and membership, and I'm talking about the challenges of finding resources to fund the organization, and challenges of communicating with the clubs and its members. These are going to be challenges that we faced in the past, and I'm sure we're going to continue to work on them even after my term as regional director. They're not going away. But for the near term, I believe I have some ideas and suggestions that might address some of these challenges and add to the strength of Sertoma, add to enthusiasm, growth, and hopefully a renewed energy, so that in the future, there will be multiple candidates running for the position of regional director. I'm excited and optimistic about the next 3 years.
Why do you want to be a regional director on the board of directors of Sertoma, and what specific skills, knowledge, and service do you bring to the board?
As I pointed out in my introduction, we have many challenges ahead of us in Sertoma, and I believe I have the ideas and suggestions. And importantly, I'm willing to listen to others who might also have good ideas and suggestions to meet those challenges. I've had the good fortune of watching some very excellent regional directors in our Mountain West region, the most recent of which being Steve Dawson. They've led the region in a progressive and positive manner. I hope to be able to do the same. My specific skills and knowledge include not only my 35 years of experience of being in Sertoma, serving, as I've said, in every capacity on the club level, multiple times, being the FDR, first standing for Foundation District Representative, and then Fundraising District Representative, serving as a district governor and serving on the national level in the capacity of being a development committee member, and now a training specialist and mission specialist and the region development chair. In addition to my Sertoma experience, I'm a retired Navy captain, having served 32 years in the Navy as a special operations officer, where I believe I developed the leadership skills that will be helpful to the board. And I'm also a retired attorney, having practiced for over 40 years, when I developed the organizational skills, all of which I believe will be helpful to the board.
Next question. With the continuation of this pandemic, how do we as Sertomans engage our clubs and members?
For the last 2 years, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a very real impact on everything that we as Sertomans have done. With lockdowns and local rules regulating the ability to have meetings and service projects, fundraisers, and most of what we do has affected how we've operated and how we are operating now. However, going forward, this is a much more difficult question on a couple of different levels. Firstly, we don't know how the pandemic will continue. Is it going to get worse? Will it become an endemic, just another malady like the flu or cold, which is annoying but treatable and not deadly on a worldwide basis? And how will it affect the continuation of the individual clubs, its meetings, service projects, and fundraising events? Obviously, we can't know the future, but we do have to plan for it. And to add to the level of complexity, each club is different. They're in different areas of the country, have different meeting requirements, service projects, and fundraising issues, and different state and local governments and health departments with which they have to deal. I believe some of the technology and assistance that Sertoma on a national level has put in place, such as Zoom calls and club grants, have greatly assisted the clubs in their meetings and fundraising, and has been a wonderful step towards the answer. And I'm sure there's more that we can do. I'm sure there are some terrific ideas out there that the individual Sertomans and individual clubs have. And that's another of the reasons that I look forward to being regional director, to communicate with the clubs and find out what these good ideas are and the poor ideas that have been attempted and failed, and find out why, so they're not repeated. It all comes down to communication. And that's not just the board or the regional director's responsibility. That's the responsibility of everyone.
What do you see as the biggest obstacle to membership in Sertoma? And where do you see our Sertoma organization in 10 years?
I believe one of the biggest obstacles to membership right now is that we're trying to do things the way we've always done them. And it doesn't seem to be working anymore. We need a new paradigm, a new way of looking at things. Getting back to just what I just said in my prior response, communications is a real issue. How are we going to communicate with the younger generations? And for the most part, I believe that the younger generation now for us is defined as anyone under the age of 45 or 50. I would love to see the 20 to 40-year-old population run to service clubs, beating on the doors to get in, but that's not happening. Why? That's a big question. It's easy to come up with excuses like, oh, they're growing their families, or they're just beginning in business and need to concentrate their time on that. But to be honest, I believe those are just excuses. I started in Sertoma in my early 30s. I was just starting my law practice. I had 2 young daughters, and I was also performing my duties in the Navy, but I was still in Sertoma. What's changed in our society to make that now impossible? I think one of the things that have changed is attitude. Now, marketing is not my area of expertise, but there are experts out there. And I think we need to work on that aspect of growth in Sertoma. If we're able to do that, I see a bright future for Sertoma in 10 years.
Is there anything that Sertoma has done in the past, or something you've done in another organization that could be brought to Sertoma today?
I believe there are some things that on a national level that have been done that can be done and have been done in the past by Sertoma, and have also been successful for other large organizations, such as the Navy. As I just mentioned, I think marketing or advertising on a national level with national sponsors is important. I remember when I came into Sertoma, Keenan Wynn, the celebrity actor, was a spokesperson for Sertoma. That really impressed me. We also have had Heather Whitestone, who was the first deaf Miss America, speak out on behalf of Sertoma on a national level. I believe this kind of national recognition would be helpful and something of benefit to the individual clubs in their recruitment.
Is there anything that would ever cause you to leave Sertoma?
To be honest, I very much doubt it. Of course, there's always death, but that goes without saying. I can imagine if Sertoma were to adopt a position that was either morally or ethically objectionable to me, I would have to consider it. But I believe that to be very, very unlikely. So probably not.
Last question. What do you see as the role of a Sertoma regional director?
Okay, for this answer, you have to remember my military background. I believe the regional director role would be that similar to the commanding officer of a ship or the commodore of a squadron or flotilla. I have a number of units, that being individuals and clubs, to which I am responsible to ensure their proper development and mission. I take that responsibility very seriously. I hope to have the authority within the guidelines of the Sertoma organization, its constitution and bylaws, to perform those tasks which are appropriate in the development of the clubs within the Mountain West region. And then on a larger level, all the clubs in Sertoma, as I'll be sitting on the board of directors, which is the governing body for all of the clubs, not just those in the Mountain West region. It's an important role involving communication and planning. And I believe one in which I have been appropriately trained and have the appropriate background to take on. As I said in my initial comments, I'm very much looking forward to it.